And we are live on the, what is this? I think this is maybe the fifth or sixth version edition of the Redline. Welcome in this evening. Good to have you guys in on a Friday night. Joining me this evening on this evening's broadcast is, of course, Steve the Dean Williams, my usual partner in crime. But tonight we have a special treat. We've got a special fill-in. George, the Sultan of Silver Bruno, is going to be joining us this evening. George, listen, man, thanks for making time for us tonight. How's it going out there in Philly? You live literally 15 minutes away from me, man, so I guess I should really ask, right?
Yeah, I had to break away from my boyfriend for a few minutes to be able to
breaking news,
you guys. And throw some clothes on and get all the baby oil off of me before I could go live. So I just, just want to make that clear. So
I see you repping with the rainbow there in the background.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah, so George has officially come out as a heterosexual male.
Absolutely.
Yeah, listen, man, we were just talking about this off the air. Hopefully all this nonsense ends up passing by, and we can get back to business as usual. 515-605-9373 is the number to call. Someone wants to know, where's Rollo? You guys can find Rollo at therationalmail.com. That's therationalmail.com. So tonight, guys, we are going to discuss why women can't pair bond. Why is it that the more women they sleep with, the less able they are to pair bond and form good, healthy relationships with men? There are many, many psychological reasons for this, but I'd like to give George the first crack at this to sort of find out where your head is on this.
Yeah, I think there's, for instance, I just think bonding happens when two people have sex, they get close. If you ever dated somebody and you never had sex with them, when they break up with you, it doesn't really hurt. You don't feel it. You're like, right, all right, whatever. So, and that can go in either direction. But if you've been intimate with somebody, it's harder. We can't deny the fact that having sex with somebody makes us bonded to them. Now, as far as bonding is concerned, are we able to bond with many people? Not effectively. I think we start messing around with, I think we're made, talk about like spinning plates. Like I said something last week where I said, I don't want 7 women in my life. I've been there, done that. And for me, 1 woman is good. My other plates are my reading, my writing, my workouts, my friends, my family. and I put a lot of my mojo and energy into those things.
Right.
If I ever had a date cancel, it's not like I'm back swiping or calling someone else. I'm just going to go work out. I just write 5 more pages. I just make a video, that kind of thing. And that works for me as an older guy. But I do believe that there is something special about the sexual relationship. And I've always thought that sex does make us closer. But how many people can you be close with?
Right.
So that's why it's difficult if you meet someone later in life and you say, man, they are a stone cold, fill in the blank. I believe that that's part of our biology. I mean, and I don't believe we are just biological creatures. I do believe we are body, soul, and spirit. So I think that's one of the reasons. I think that's why a woman's history is important to know, but not details.
Oh my God, Jesus!
You don't want to haunt yourself with details. I mean, us guys, we can haunt ourselves with those kinds of things.
I've made that mistake many times.
Yeah. I just think it's. I think it's harder for women to bond, and we've all heard this. I can't really have sex with a man unless I'm in love with him. Okay, whatever. How many times have
oh Jesus, of course, right.
men heard that? I'm not like that. It's like, all right, whatever,
Neither am I. We'll take it slow, and then you give them the devilish grin.
Yeah, exactly. I just think the bonding issue is it's a testimony to how we were designed to be as humans. Sex makes us closer, otherwise we'd be just roommates.
Right.
There's I'm not going to bear a sword and go to battle for a roommate, but I will do it for someone who I'm bonded with. And especially, I mean, if I had, like I had children, I've got 3 kids, and that's difficult. That's difficult to turn that off. Once you've had children, I think that kind of brings everybody a little bit closer as well, to the point where you'll notice that if there's couples that lose a child,
yes,
to cancer or an accident, and what happens to the marriage? They go their own way.
Yeah.
Because the children do bring people close together. There is something spiritual, unseen, whatever, metaphysical about that. So I think bonding, it happens on many planes. It happens biologically. It happens spiritually, mentally. We all can still remember the most beautiful body that we were ever with. I can still picture her body right now. I won't say her name. But I can still picture it. And that's burned in my memory. And
no matter what, listen, no matter what name you said, I'd have been like, wait, you banged her too, George?
Yeah.
Ask him about it.
I think what happens is once you are with your ideal body, let's just talk body, the visual, the form that we love. Once you are with an ideal form, everyone else is that's like the template for how everyone else must measure up to from there on out. Otherwise, you have to kind of like untrain yourself to those curves of hers,
right,
and retrain yourself to a new set of curves.
That makes sense. And I'll actually add this, and I'll come to Steve after this. I believe, and George, you can agree or disagree, but I think that men having a lot of sex benefits us obviously more than women having a lot of sex. And he said the key word there, desensitize. Okay. Because the more sex you have with women as a man, the more it desensitizes you to those beautiful female bodies. And a lot of men find themselves falling in love so quickly. Oh my God, I think I'm in love. No, you don't think you're in love. You've just never had sex with a woman as beautiful as that, who actually pretends to like it in your life. This is why you think it's love. I've heard that the feelings, the dopamine, the serotonin, the oxytocin that goes through your brain, the chemical reactions that go through your brain when you think you're falling in love is similar to heroin. That stuff is addictive. This is why we have men eating. This is why you have men eating bullets, right? This is why you have men throwing themselves off buildings, running into trains, because they need that. They need that next hit. But in order to guard yourself from that, as men, we need to have sex with as many women as humanly possible in order to desensitize us. Now, back in the day, George, it didn't used to be like that. Men didn't have to desensitize ourselves to sex because women were actually worth something in those days. But women aren't really worth much outside of sex. And because of that, women take advantage of men all the time. They use our provider instinct, our protector instinct, and they use men for their own personal gain. So we as men, we sort of adjusted and said, okay, we can't really love women the way we want to or the way we used to. So we have to sleep with a lot of women in order to trump their trump card. That way, if a beautiful woman comes on to you, you start having sex with her. Well, why isn't this guy falling in love with me? All the other guys said, well, because I fucked 56 of you in Vegas and you're not really any more special than the other one. Okay, so you make a mean peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but Big Titty Brianna, down at the Sapphire Club, she could make peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and she brought me a glass of milk. I think that's one of the main differences.
I agree. I agree with that. Yeah.
Steve, what say you, man?
Was muted. All right. So what you mean as far as these women out here fucking a lot of or screwing a lot of guys?
Yeah. Why are they not able to already went for the square jaw? I've got one too. Yeah. Why are women, in your opinion, why are they unable to emotionally pair bond with men after they have basically sport fucked their way through their 20s?
Well, to me, it kind of goes two different ways because you can't emotionally bond with someone who has no sense of self. And there's not too many men out there. See, the thing is that men are a rare commodity because a man can bond with anything and a woman can bond with a man on one hand. Now, a woman can't bond with someone who has no sense of self.
There you go.
One end, but on the other end, as far as what women do is, again, women like sex, just like we like sex, and the thing with them is that they get judged for it worse than most men do, so they cover it up.
Right.
So once they, from 18, I always say, George and Donovan, I always say a woman when she's at her peak, let's say at 25, she sometimes makes a choice. Am I going to use my tight, good-looking body to find a husband and start a family? Or am I going to use my good-looking, tight body to get free drinks, meals, and people to chauffeur me around and put up my Christmas lights? And then I hit 30 or get ready to hit the wall. I got to clean myself up and then look for a male who will, my coochie looking like chewed up meat. He will spackle it back together. He will marry me, and he will make a good woman of me. So it kind of splits in two ways, in my opinion. But what are y'all thoughts on that, man?
George.
Yeah, I think there's a thing called what I call pretty girl privilege.
Ooh,
and
right.
Pretty girls get asked out by a lot of guys, and that it's part of the looking glass self. If you're walking down a hallway and 100 people, as they passed you, they went they looked you up and down and looked at you odd. You would make sure you get to a mirror as quick as you can. Like, what are they looking at? What are they disapproving of?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So you base your self-identity upon what others' reaction is to you. So if you grow up as a pretty girl and hearing every time you walk down somewhere, you're hearing a whistle or you're hearing someone say, "Here she comes, Miss America," or they keep hearing since they were 16 years old, "You are so hot, you are so hot." They actually start believing that.
Right.
And what happens is, to me, that develops what I call pretty girl privilege. And then when I was growing up, we used to call a thing prom queen syndrome. And that is the prettiest girl in the school. You would think she's out just partying and having a great time and guys are lined up. But what happens is men are so cowardly. The woman who you think would be the prom queen is left home on a Friday night because men don't ask her out. And that's what we used to call back in the 70s, the prom queen syndrome, is that the prettiest girl is at home watching Hallmark movies.
Listen, big thank you. Big shout out goes to Rob Cruz with the $50 super chat. That is 50 US dollar super chat. Rob Cruz, one of the TSR OGs. Good to have him in the house tonight. So here's something that I'll add to what George said about pretty girl privilege. And this is why girls are used for sex more now than they've ever been, especially pretty girls. And I say this all the time. Hot girls are useless because they don't have to be useful, right? And I make this comparison all the time to Michael Vick. George, you remember when Michael Vick was right here in Philly? Yeah. And Michael Vick had probably his best statistical and balanced years here in Philadelphia. And the reason for that is because he learned to read defenses and pass. Now, when he was in college at Virginia Tech, when he was in Atlanta, he didn't really have to learn to read defenses because he was always the fastest guy on the field, because that one thing set him apart from everybody else. He didn't develop himself outside of just his speed. It wasn't until he went to Leavenworth, Kansas for 2 years, came back into the league. He says, all right, I'm still fast, but I'm not outrunning linebackers anymore. I'm not outrunning safeties anymore. Now I got to sit back and actually read defenses. Well, this is the conundrum of the hot girl. Hot girls, when they're 18 to 28 years old, they have the world is at their feet. The world is their oyster. But then before they hit the wall, they think, oh, shit, now, men only want sex from me right now. But when I get to be 30, 34, 35 years old, they're going to want a lot more than that because I don't really look as good. They ring up their notch counts, and by the time, listen, before they know it, they're 37 years old, they're single, they're alone, and they wonder, why don't men want anything from me outside of sex?
Agreed.
Let me run something else. Let me run something by Steve. I actually want to get both of your opinions on this, but I want to get Steve's thoughts on this. It is my assertion that we as men, even though I guess we bond to women sexually, I think the reference is like this: the more sex a man has, the less he is able to sexually bond to a woman. In this day and age, that is a good thing, because that fortifies our defenses against women who would do us dirty. But women, the more they have sex with men, they become unable to pair bond. And I like to use these percentages. The first guy a girl ever has sex with, he gets 100% of her heart. Nothing to compare it to, right? She's still salvageable. She can be married, blah, 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 blah. If she sleeps with guy number 2, he now only gets 50% of her heart. Listen, you can, if you meet your wife and she's only had sex with one other person, you're winning, right? Now guy number 3 comes along. Guy number 3 only gets 33% of her heart. Guy number 4 gets 25. Guy number 5 gets 20. Guy number 6 gets 16.66%. Guy number 7, I can't do the math past that, but you understand what I'm saying. The more men a woman sleeps with, the less of her pie is available. The less of her emotional pie is available. So by the time she gets to guy number 176 and she thinks she likes him, she says, dude, like, why? I like this guy. Why can I not love him? It's because she's given her heart away to 175 other guys. Steve, what are your thoughts on my little pie chart there? What are your thoughts on a woman's heart pie chart the more guys she has sex with?
Well, to me, Donovan, I think that women are a more of an emotional level. I mean, they like sex, but they don't. I don't feel like they connect with a lot of people emotionally to give that pie away. But even if your chart is right, it doesn't matter anyway, Donovan, because they don't know what they want at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's always going to be something. It's always going to be. The thing with women is always something that, I don't know. It could be, I don't know, the hair color. Your hair color is not the way I like it, and because of that, they'll go back to their daddy issues and all the other stuff. I mean, it's a lot of things that are happening with women out there. But as far as giving their heart away, I think that I don't necessarily think they're giving their heart away. I mean, okay. To you, they would give their heart away. To George, they would give their heart away. To a guy like me, they would give their heart away. But they're not giving their heart away to the regular male out there.
Oh, no.
Because the regular male cannot connect with a woman on an emotional and physical level like a real man can. That's the only person to my opinion, she gives her heart away to. Now, her body away to, she gives it away to just about, whoever.
There you go.
But when she's with now, but like I say, Donovan, that depends on how many real men has she had in her life, because the majority of women out there, in my opinion, they go through male after male after male after male. Me, George, then have to get over him. Male after male after male after male. Try to go back to George.
I got you. Oh, yeah.
And then male after male after male after male to male, then depression and drinking and crying, and then look up and run into Donovan. And then the process all starts again.
Yeah.
But she had, but that, to my point, At that time, she's at 75% because she's giving George the 25.
Yes. Okay.
So
All right.
75 with you. So once you leave her, that's 25 on your part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Male after male after male. She still has that 50. Male after male after male to male goes back to you, or even goes back to George, whichever. But she has to always go back to the thing that she gave away to. She just doesn't give it away to everybody.
Right.
When she gives it away, yes, it takes something out of her. But the question is how many men has she really had in her life?
Yes. Wow. You know what, Steve? I think I like your math better. Before I get to George on this, because I'm interested to find out what he thinks. Big thanks goes out to Russell Moore with the $2 super chat. He says he liked the Mike Vick reference. Freelance Runner with the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. One of the TSR OGs. So, George, you have two sorts of, I guess, mathematical hypotheses here, right? And I think that they're both right. Mine is that the more men a woman gives her body to, every guy in succession gets less and less and less of her heart until she gets to guy number 213. He's getting 1/213th of her heart. Whereas Steve ascertains that, okay, she gives her body to a lot of guys, but it's only the alpha males, the top 5%ers of the world that really make an impression. Where do you fall in that discussion?
Well, I wrote down a woman giving her heart versus giving her body. And a lot of women like to talk about giving their heart. Well, I don't have sex unless I'm in love, which tells me that they can differentiate between those two things. And that's the type of person, to me, that's like a little red flag. It's like, okay. Yes. That's kind of a tell. That's a tell. You're telling me that you have two different ways of operating. Now, I know I look like an old guy with the gray hair, but just picture me with dark hair. It wasn't that long ago that I had dark hair and a dark beard. And I am fairly jacked. So if I had dark hair, a dark beard, I'm still bench pressing more than 90% of the people watching this. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah.
And I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't want to use the language that everyone else uses, like notch count. But now that I mentioned it, let's talk about that for a second. I've been around. I don't know what game is. I was born the son of a player who was the son of a player.
Oh, wow.
I was blown away when I learned that there were groups and courses teaching men how to be players and how to get a woman. I didn't know any different. That is just how me and my brothers grew up. We're just like scratching our heads thinking like people actually pay money for this. It just blows my mind. Anyways, all that being said, having a notch count that I somewhat regret because I feel like I wasted a lot of time, a lot of years, and a lot of effort, and big pieces of my heart with many women. I find like you're with a woman and you're making out. I guess we can get real, right?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it, dude.
Right. And you're like taking each other's clothes off, and it's fun. It takes a while, like from the time you start getting it on to the time you work your way into the bedroom or whatever, and it takes 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and whatever. And then there's the woman who's just like naked in about 3 seconds.
Oh yeah,
that's your first sign that she's been down this race course
yes,
before.
Yeah.
I mean, her clothes are on the floor, and she's like, "All right, come on, big boy." And I'm just, and I've been with women like that.
So this isn't your first rodeo, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or by the time you get to her house, she's already got like a bottle of cold water for you on her nightstand.
Wow! Holy moly! Wow!
So I'm thinking, okay, she's done this before.
Oh yeah,
and she's not even pretending like, oh, I'm really not like that. Like,
oh no,
we kind of like want that little bit.
Just a little bit, right?
Just a little bit, just a little bit of shame, just a little bit of resistance.
Yes,
not just like a pile of clothes on the floor in like 10 seconds. and there's your water right there.
Right.
And she opens up the top drawer of her nightstand, and there's like, condoms and toys and lube and everything, and you're like, okay. All of a sudden, I don't feel very special. Not that I'm looking to, but it is kind of a tell. I mean, it's no more than I remember when I moved from where I was to where I am now, and just going through drawers and stuff, and I'm finding like pairs of earrings in the top of my nightstand, and I'm like,
oh Jesus,
shit, who do these belong to? And I remember calling a woman who now follows me on Twitter and say, I think you left a pair of earrings in my on top of my nightstand. I still have them if you're interested in that. And she goes,
oh wow,
oh my God, I remember that. She goes, I was wondering where I left them. And I said, yeah.
Oh Jesus Christ,
so,
I was wondering where I left them. Oh my God, wow.
Yeah. So I think we like to conquest.
Yes.
We want to climb a mountain. I don't want the mountain just to go and just flatten itself out for me.
Absolutely.
We like to work for it a little bit. I think that's part of my nature and my spirituality and my metaphysical being as a man.
Yes.
That I want to work. I want to feel unique. I want to feel like I've got that magic pill that she wants. I'll never forget being with one woman, and she said she says, you are Mr. Wonderful. I said, oh, really? She says, I haven't had an orgasm. I haven't had an orgasm in 6 years. Oh my God, you are just amazing. Okay. All right. Whatever. And I'll never forget years later meeting up with her and her then teenage child. We're talking, hey, how's things going? How's life? Whatever.
Right.
And I'll never forget. I said, so how, do you have a man in your life? Whatever. And she's, yeah, I'm really happy. And her child says, yeah, she's with Mr. Wonderful. And I'm like, oh, I remember that. That's the guy that could bring her to the mountaintops just like that, Mr. Wonderful. So that was a line that she used on like one guy after another. She might have forgotten that she told me that at one point. So I thought that was kind of funny. But the skilled women make you feel like you're the only one. They only give it up to you.
Yes. Wow. Yes.
But by the time you get to be my age, it's really interesting. By the time, I'm going to be 60 soon, 59. By the time you get to be my age, many women don't play coy with you.
No, they don't.
And I want to say, just be coy for once, will you? Yeah. Just come on.
Yeah.
Like, the clothes don't have to be in a pile on the floor in like 3 seconds.
It's no fun to go deer hunting if they're all standing in a row, right? Like make me chase you. Make me wait up in the stand.
Right. Exactly.
I think that's definitely something that's missing. And I think that's probably the reason why a lot of, I don't know, dare I say millennials, a lot of them go the quote unquote incel route because because girls are so loose these days, right? Yeah. Like it doesn't really, like, of course you have to have game and all this other kind of stuff, but dude, as soon as a girl decides that she wants to sleep with you, she doesn't make any bones about it. The only last minute resistance you get is for maybe, I normally don't do this. Well, neither do I. So I guess it's going to be a first time for both of us. Now bend over, right? Like all it takes is saying something like that. And she's on her knees. She's bent over and everything is good. Steve, what are your thoughts on the thrill of the chase? Because that's what George is really talking about here, right? Girls who don't give you the high, the elation from the thrill of the chase, it almost kind of cheapens the hunt.
Well, and I understand where George is coming from. I see the thing with the guys I used to roll with. We used to give women. We did two different things. Okay, because and this is for our thrill of the chase. The first thing we did was we would trade women like baseball cards or like drafting. We're like general managers in the football team. So, let's say it was you, me, and George. We're hanging out. And what I would the first thing we would do is, I would if I look, if I know I'm hanging out with you guys, or let's say George and I are all together, I would be like, George, okay, I'll give you my fourth and my seventh chick for your sixth chick. And supplemental is basically when George and I are out, that means I get first dibs, because picking up women was such an easy thing for us.
Sure.
We started doing that. So that was the first thing. Then after that, it got so boring picking up women because it was so easy. We started playing a game called the rejection game. So it wasn't about how many women we could pull in the club. It was about how many beautiful women we could go up to, say just about anything, and get rejected from them. But the thing that was so crazy about it, the nastier we got with them, the more that, oh, y'all are crazy. They're like,
yep.
And it was like, no, you're supposed to turn me down. But that's my thrill to hunt, because picking up women is so easy, and it's just not fun. It's just a not fun thing. So in order to up who I am as a man, I like to up my game. So I try to make it as difficult as possible. I'm not in this figure thing. I like to do it blindfolded, one hand behind my back. Let me hop on one leg. Let me do whatever I can. And the thing is all that doesn't matter, because when a woman sees a man, it doesn't matter how goofy or how you sound or what you have or how much money you make. They're intrigued by you. So it's a difficult thing, but it's a fun thing to be able to have a girl that you meet at a club or something, take her to your house, mess around, have her clothes all the way off, and you can tell her just to get up and leave. Yeah,
yes.
Hey, you can go home right now. I did that at my prom. I was trying to smash my guidance counselor's daughter, but I got this other chick, and I didn't even sleep with her because I was smashing so many women. I was like, I was probably the only guy prom night that didn't have sex because I was having so much of it. So it's just, to me, it's great getting them, pulling them, but I just throw them back into the water because it's just not fun anymore. Like it's especially in this day and age with the internet.
Yeah,
man, what guys don't understand, and Donovan and George, y'all gonna probably laugh. They don't understand. Women just send us nude photos, titty pictures, ass pictures. They try to friend you on Facebook and Instagram. They try to send you messages on the back end. If they find out which city you in, they're like, well, can you spend some time with me? And again, it's not that I don't want to sound like I'm bitching here, but I mean, it's that life, but it's like, I don't care because it's just too easy.
Listen, what Steve says, it's actually kind of pointed. And George, my guess is that you've probably hit this stage in your life at some point. I don't want to say recently, now, a few years back, I realized that it was just no longer worth it for me to pursue women at the rate I was pursuing them. Don't get me wrong, I love sticking my dick in new vaginas, but seemingly overnight, I just didn't want to put in the work that was necessary to keep 2 and 3 and 4 girls in my roster. And the conclusion that I came to was that I was transitioning from one stage of my life to the next. I just had Roosh V on a few weeks back. Roosh V was the international voyeuristic player sex tourist. And he decided, a few things happened in his life, and now he has turned to God, right? The point is, George, you can't bang bitches forever. You can't spin plates forever. The reason why I think that you can probably speak to this, one of the reasons I believe that I got a little bit tired of the hunt is because the hunt wasn't worth it anymore. If all I'm going to get out of a woman is sex, then why put in all this effort? I banged every blonde, brunette, fake titty. Dude, I've had them all. And it was great. It just wasn't worth it for me anymore. So what do you say to guys who are maybe starting to get sick of the hunt because there is no hunt? And did you experience that transition in your life?
Yeah, I think all three of us are uniquely qualified to talk about this issue. A lot of it has to do with mindset. To me, finding women is not it's not Mount Everest to me.
Right.
A like I said, game is not something.
You still can't wrap your head around it. It's funny as hell.
Absolutely. So for me, where it's always been plentiful, I've always had many options my entire life. Even now, I have as young as about 32 chasing me, and I have 75-year-old hot grandmoms chasing me, which is,
hey man, women, pussy.
It's funny. So I have found in my life. I like here I am Friday. What the hell am I doing on a Friday night? Talking to two men live on a show when I should be out, practicing what I preach. Man, I'm part of the 21 convention. I'm part of the Red Man group. Let me tell you what. I mean, first of all, Saturday in the hair industry, you work on Saturdays. So this is not really a Friday night for me. Tomorrow night is my Friday night. That's the end of my work week. So I still have to get up at 5:30 tomorrow morning and be at work early. So for me, this is still considered a work night. But honestly, like the house is empty right now. And I'm actually enjoying it. So like when I'm done with this, I'm going to pour a drink. I'm going to have a cigar. I'm going to sit quietly. I'm not going to say a word. I'm going to check my email. I'm going to fight with some douchebags on Twitter. I mean, I got a Friday night. But I'm thinking like, people say, well, you have a Friday night off or you're a Friday night open. I'm like, yes, because I do have a fairly full calendar. So when I can have a free night.
Oh God, it's like gold, isn't it?
It really is. So for me, if I'm not fathering or boyfriending, I'm not out like what people would think, like out there, dirtying up my bed. I'm just enjoying watching Netflix. And having a good time, because for me, and I've said this for years, that you move in the direction of your most dominant thoughts. If you think it's an easy life, it'll be easy for you. If you think that meeting someone is a hard thing to do, we just can't meet women. It's so hard. You hear this? It's so hard to meet people today. I'm like, what? Like, really? I'm like, well, if you keep saying that, or no wonder you're saying that, because that's what you think.
Yeah, you speak it into existence.
If the mindset, and of course Steve would talk, can talk about this with the whole mindset. Steve's whole thing is that mindset. It's so important. And it's not, sometimes you have to act maybe a little bit bolder than what you really are. I'll never forget, I was a director of counseling at a drug and alcohol rehab in Philadelphia from my former. I worked for 22 years as a therapist before I was cutting hair.
Oh wow!
And there was a guy. We had a meeting one night a week. We had these meetings, and there was a dude in the rehab sitting in the front row like this, with his head down, and the counselors would watch if people were paying attention or if they were doodling or whatever. And then they'd have to get so many credits per week to be able to graduate from this drug and alcohol rehab, that they were in for 9 months. And one guy came up with his paper and wanted the initials. I said, I can't give you the initials. He says, why? I said, you were sleeping. He goes, I wasn't sleeping, man. I was just resting my eyes. I go, God. But you looked like you were sleeping. You were sitting there with your eyes closed. And I know you could not repeat back to me anything that the speaker was saying.
Right.
I go, whether or not you were sleeping or awake or just resting your eyes.
Doesn't matter.
It didn't matter. You looked like you were sleeping and not paying attention. Therefore, you get the sleeping man's reward, which was no initials on your paper. Damn. So, even if he just stood up, sat up straight, and I don't care if his eyes glazed over, sit up straight, look at the speaker who was talking about their addiction and their, recovery and all that stuff, and looked like you were paying attention, you would get my initials on your paper.
There you go.
So sometimes you just have to act like you're paying attention, and you get the rewards of the man who's paying attention. Let's carry that over to the intergender relationship.
Woo, I like this. This is good.
If you act like you are the man, even if you're not, who's going to know the difference? Nobody. Only you know that.
Right.
If you act, what's the difference between being confident and acting confident? Only you know. The people on the outside think there's a confident man. So sometimes, and I know in the addiction world, they call that fake till you make it. And many times you get the rewards of the man who looks like he's confident.
Right.
So I tell young men for many years, if you can't do that, take acting lessons. Act like you are confident, because that woman across the bar or the dance floor is not going to know the difference. She's not going to know that you're shy. She's not going to know that you're inexperienced. What she's seeing is a confident man who's smiling, who's not nervous, who's taking risks. And that adds to your scorecard in her eyes. So I do believe that with many men, they really need to just risk a little bit without being a dick. And I think you get the rewards. I'll never forget, Geraldo Rivera sat around, he had a circle of people on stools, and it was some show that he was doing, and they were very successful business people. And he said, I'm going to go around, do a lightning round with you, and you tell me what is number one quality that you as an entrepreneur can attribute to your success. He went from one person to the other. You know what they said? Risk, risk, risk,
there you go.
Risk, risk. You got to risk to get the reward.
Very well said. George dropping that knowledge. Steve, let's go to you. You've got something to say, and then you've got a caller on the line.
Went on 3 1 second. But hey, George, on real quick, George, Netflix, type up fireplace. Type up fireplace on Netflix. Get your wine. And it is the most relaxing thing. If you have a little soft music, classical or jazz, just type up fireplace in Netflix, and you just turn out all the lights and just watch.
Nice.
Oh, dude.
Wow.
Very soothing, man. But what
I just wrote that down.
Just type in fireplace in Netflix, and yeah, man, it's soothing, man.
That's a hack right there.
But the great thing, and like George is on point with this, and this is what we're trying to tell you guys. See, after a while, you get tired of the threesome. You get tired of the orgy. You get tired of sleeping with someone's wife while he watches. You get tired of. You see, y'all gotta understand. It's like you don't get a break from this thing. It's like a second job, and this is what y'all gotta understand. Around Christmas, well, let's take Thanksgiving. You got 5 women that want to go take you to meet their parents on Thanksgiving. You got 5 women that want to spend Thanksgiving with you. You got 5 women that want to take you out of town. Same thing with Christmas. They want to spend Christmas with you. They want you to meet their family. And why don't you want to meet me? And why don't you care about me? And do you like her more than me? And I feel like I'm gonna kill myself. I'm suicidal. And you don't. this is the life, guys. Your birthdays. You can never have your birthday by yourself because someone wants to spend it with you. And I know a lot of y'all guys are saying, well, give me that problem. Yes, but what I'm saying is after you do it so many times, you just want to, so to speak.
The novelty wears off, man. It really does.
It wears off, and you just want to let your hair down. And like George says, man, it's sure, George, if he wanted to right now, can probably snap his goddamn finger and have a bunch of women right now. But like he said, if you already know you got them, do you really have to go after them? No.
Right.
There
you go, man.
I said this for years. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Oh, wow. That can be applied in many things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, great nights are not with the woman. More great nights are hanging out with your boys.
Or by yourself, man. Oh, my God.
Being by yourself and just relaxing. I always called it my dick resting days. I would unplug the phone. We had telephones. I'd take the phone off the hook. I'd turn off my beeper, turn off the lights, and I get a bag of frozen vegetables, put it up under my nuts, and watch TV or play video games. And it was it was the best time ever because I got me time. And that's what they don't understand real quick. You guys out there, you don't understand me time because they'll pop up at your job. They'll pop up at your door.
Man.
Yeah. Oh, they'll stop and run behind you. So guys, enjoy what you have right now, because once you get into this the real way, you're not going to have any free time. But we do have a call, Donovan.
Yeah, bring him on in, man.
Area code 903. Sorry for the long wait, sir. Did you have a question, sir? What's up?
No, I saw you guys apparently were looking for calls, and I met a couple of you at the convention last October. George called me a Navy SEAL, but I was actually a U.S. Army infantry.
Okay.
I met Donovan at the dinner, and it was nice meeting him.
Okay.
I'm sure they met so many people. If you don't remember me, that's fine. I was taking notes, so you'll have to give me a little time.
Take your time. You're good.
Oh, you're good, man.
Good. You're good.
Yeah. I'm older. I'm about to turn. Geez, I'm getting so old. I can't remember how old I am. I'm about to turn 37. I'm dating a church girl now.
Uh-oh.
Which is awesome. Well, no. I already heard that, Donovan. To me. She was married before. She actually didn't initiate the divorce. Her husband did. Divorce as well. My ex-wife initiated that divorce. Things are good. Y'all were talking about women with a lot of sexual partners. Now I'm taking her at her word, but based on her age, I've met her family. I've met her grandparents. I'm inclined to believe her.
Uh-oh.
Oof.
Uh-oh.
I got to cut you off. This is here's my response on this. Okay, I'll let you finish. But when I meet women now, one of the things that I make clear when I meet women at my ripe young age is I let them relax. I'm like, you don't have to lie to me, baby. You don't have to lie. I had a life before you. You had a life before me. Let's just enjoy each other. And you know what? I can just see her going, just, wow. Like, I don't have to act like I was an angel before. I'm like, of course not. You had a life before me. And I had one before you. It's okay. It's perfectly okay. And you know what? It actually doesn't matter. What happens before you met really doesn't matter. So what you're going to be vetting is personality, temperament, impulsiveness, loyalty, fidelity. You're not vetting her on her past unless there's been, one guy a month for the past 10 years.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, George. I'm sorry.
Go for it, man. That's all right.
Yeah. No, she's super feminine. She's actually the one that got me. I guess say I'm a trad con. I don't know that there's a better definition to really fit into that.
Oh gosh.
Oh man.
No, I hear you.
Oh man.
Always been a Christian.
Go ahead, Steve.
Before I got married when I was about 25, which was a mistake. This woman wants to have kids, which I already have one son.
How old is she?
How old is she?
Yeah.
He's 27.
Okay. Does she have any kids now?
No.
Okay.
No, I've been following you guys for a while. I wasn't about.
All right. Okay. Listen, this guy knows the buzzwords, man. He knows the buzzwords.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I've been following you. I went to the convention last October.
What'd you think of the convention?
I really enjoyed it. It was a bit odd with the Pride Parade, and being that it's June, I guess Pride.
Dude, that was crazy, right?
Was,
George, you remember that?
I do. I do.
Everybody was super nice. It was just kind of weirded me out. No, it was great. I learned a lot. Everybody was great. Like I said, you came up, George, and shook my hand, and I guess because of my beard and the way I looked and my tattoos. And it's funny, you automatically knew I was military.
Yep.
But I guess that was the topic of the show. Women that have slept with a lot of men can't pair bond, correct?
Yes.
Well, yes, that's correct. In other words, and it's not a cliff. There is a line of emotional sexual demarcation that happens with women. Okay. If a woman sleeps with 2 guys, she can still pair bond with guy number 3. If she sleeps with 3 guys, she can probably pair bond with guy number 4. If she sleeps with 78, she's not going to be able to pair bond with guy number 79. That's what I'm saying.
Well, here's the thing, 903. And I gotta give you. I'm gonna give you a horn, Don, because I was waiting to get this to him. I mean, my God.
Oh, the price is wrong.
Yeah. 903. Listen, man. Here's the thing that I stress to a lot of you guys. Okay, now, George. I'm gonna use George as an example. I can even use Donovan. They can ask a woman how many people they slept with, and they can get the number, and they can accept that, and they will be like, okay, I'm either going to sleep with her or I'm not going to sleep with her, okay? But for a lot of you guys out there, you can't handle that type of truth, because as soon as she gives you a number, the first thing you're going to do is, number one, judge her. Second thing you're going to do is start comparing. Well, was this guy better than me? Well, was it the 5th guy? Was it the 12th guy? Was it the 20th?
That's a fact.
So when I'm saying for you, 903, look, and look, I'm not knocking the church. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that there have been a lot of church girls that have been. I used to think my name was Jesus and Lord, and the way they were calling me Jesus and Lord. I'm just saying, man, don't think just because she goes to church that she has a halo over her head and she's not. Whoa, let me ask you a question. 903, are you and her physically?
Hey, I'm here.
Are you and her physically involved in anything sexual, physical, or touching or anything? 903.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Right. And how fast did it start? When did you get the first kiss or first hug? Or when did you start to slide your hand and touch the breast or something like that? Days or weeks did it take you?
When did you ask her? Just let me put the head in.
Yeah, tip in. Yeah.
Oh, are you still there?
Yeah. Well, how long did it take you?
Okay, you're breaking up a little bit.
Okay.
I apologize. I put pressure on her. I'll go ahead and straight answer your question. Kiss first night. Stop. Getting handsies, second date.
I stop. Okay, wait. Okay. So Now let me, and I'm about to open. Now, I don't want to do a Morpheus to Neo, but please don't look at her the wrong way. All right. Look. Here, this is true here. I love you, and this is why I'm saying it to you. But don't think up and look at her any old kind of way after this. Now listen, 903. You have what we call average game, okay? And average game got you a kiss on the first night and a hand job, I think you were saying, on the second date. What do you think a guy like George or a guy like Donovan Sharp got from her? And they got game. Think about that for a second. These guys are real, authentic men. What do you think they got from her? Now, if you got a kiss on the first date, you don't think George smashed on the first date?
I'd have got the pussy.
You don't think Donovan got a little head on the first? And I'm not saying your girl, but I mean, I don't want you guys to sit and think because she goes to church, she's a good girl, when the writing's on the wall. She has already showed you that she is being affectionate to you that fast, which is that's y'all's thing. I'm not judging that. I'm just saying at the end of the day, before I toss to the guys, is that you guys are not ready or equipped to handle a truth of what she really is and how many guys have turned her out, how many dicks, how many threesomes, brains.
Ain't ready for that.
You're not ready for that. So don't ask the question because you're not going to handle it, and you're always going to judge her because that's what a lot of guys do when they can't handle the truth and everything. Guys?
Yeah, I think, Alan Roger Curry a few years ago talked about how women worse than men when it comes to that.
Oh yeah.
The women that I am friends with will always tell me, "Oh, you guys are nothing." When we girls get together, the stuff that we talk about, women will tell you. When the ones closest to you won't tell you that, but female friends will say, "Oh my God, women, we're way worse than you guys." Believe them. Yes. Believe them. Yeah. Don't doubt them for a second. Now, you might have to just remove the church girl factor from the equation. I don't think. I mean, she's a girl, but don't say church girl. I think what that is, it's an attempt. It's an unconscious attempt to qualify her.
Yes.
There it is.
903, go ahead. What was you saying, 903?
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt anybody. I apologize. I'm from the South. I like to be a gentleman.
Well, wait, time out. Check this out. When you hold on, define gentleman.
I guess old school Southern gentleman is what I'm going after.
No, I understand, but I mean, what connotes old school Southern gentleman? Like, what does an old school Southern gentleman do? What does he not do? Because here's the thing. Here's what I think you're trying to tell us. What you're trying to tell us is, well, I want to be a gentleman, so I didn't try to fuck her on the first date. If that's the truth, if that's what you're trying to tell us, that's nonsense. You didn't try to fuck her on the first date because you were afraid to, right? Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing, and I don't want to go off on a diatribe here, but you always try to fuck her on the first date, guys. Maybe she lets you, maybe she doesn't, but girls these days will respect you. They're not a girl will never say, "Oh, he was such a gentleman. He didn't try to fuck me on the first date." No, if you don't try to sleep with her on the first date, girls these days, you're going to give him a complex. Is he gay? Is he not turned on by me? Why didn't he try to? Well, you weren't going to sleep with him anyway. Well, yeah, I would like for him to have tried, right? So hopefully that's not what you're trying to tell us.
Donovan.
Actually, when I was saying I was trying to be a gentleman, I was trying to convey the fact that I didn't want to interrupt you when you were talking. It had
okay. All right. Never mind. I guess I got that wrong.
Yeah, hey, 903.
I appreciate the input. Don't get me wrong.
Right. Yeah. 903. When you go to work on Monday, okay. Now you might not be able to catch it because it is like capturing an elf and a unicorn and a Smurf. But when you see a group of women, okay, try to get over there as fast as you can, because if you get a chance just to listen, you know what they're going to say? Well, I sucked his dick last night, and yeah, girl, and his balls slapped me in the face, and he spread my cheeks and told me I'm all kind of bitches. And then when you get close to them, they're going to be like, "Oh my God, did you see what Victor said to Jack on the Young and the Restless? Oh my God, I couldn't believe."
You're taking it way back.
Oh yeah, yeah. What they'll do is they'll talk about, as guys come around, they will check. It's just like what y'all do with women. Y'all talk about sex until a woman comes around, and then y'all talk about something else. And that's what they'll do. They'll talk about, "Well, yeah, I slept with him and they ran a train on me, girl. Oh, yeah, his size and his girth. And I swallow? Did I take my face in my hair?" That's how they talk and they do it in church too, man. Don't think it's just in the office. On Sundays, they do it on Sundays too. And what they'll do when they get in their groups, yes.
I actually work in an office where myself and one other young man who's could probably use listening to this more than me, actually work in an office full of women. So you are 100% correct.
Yeah, I know. Hey, dog, I'm not making this. I know, because like Georgia, listen, guys, y'all understand something. When y'all are driving, hey, there's a homework assignment for y'all guys Monday. When you're in rush hour traffic, just look over to the left or look over to the right. And if you think she's over there singing to a new pop song by whomever, no, man, she's got that Willie Mammoth 5000 right between her legs, stroking it in the middle of rush hour traffic because she's trying to get that nut. They are always masturbating. They're always touching themselves. They're always fantasizing. And that's why it's so amazing how y'all don't understand. Women love sex. This is going to sound crazy, more than we do. They love dick. guys?
They do.
I got a great story for you. I went to college, and there was a guy, Louis from the Bronx, and Louis went out with Becky, Southern girl, you know, and in the same way, 903, that you used Southern. I get that, Southern girl. And they went out on a date. Now, I was friends with one of Becky's friends in the girls' dorm. I went to a college where the boys were in a dorm and the girls were in their own separate dorm. It was not co-ed. And Louis came back from a date, dinner and the whole thing, came back, and all the guys were in the lounge in the dorm, and we were all talking. And people are like, "Hey, Louis, so how did the date go?" And Louis from the Bronx said, he says, "It was great, man. You know, went out to a nice dinner. You know what I mean? I gave her flowers, the whole bit." And he goes, "You know what? I didn't even kiss her." Like, and the dudes were just like, "Dude, like, wow, such a gentleman." All right. Now, remember, I was friends with Becky's roommate. That night, Becky comes back from the date in the girls' lounge in the dorm, all the girls, "Hey, so how'd it go?" Her reply, "That idiot didn't even kiss me." She says, "The idiot didn't even kiss me." She didn't care about the dinner. She didn't care about the flowers. And it was interesting to see her perspective was he thought he was scoring points by not doing anything. He thought he was scoring points by what he didn't do. Guess what? She was holding that against him. So did they ever have a second date? No, never happened.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's real.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
That's a good point, man. I've never really thought of it like that. To be quite honest with you, are you thinking, area code 903? If you're still on the phone, are you thinking that this girl is possibly, dare I say, the one?
I
903.
already plan on marrying her. Now, I know you're gonna. I'm waiting for the responses. So go ahead.
Oh boy.
Wait. What do you mean plan on
Oh
marrying?
boy. He said he plans on marrying her. Uh-oh.
What do you mean?
Oh boy.
Has she killed the Minotaur and put it on the top of?
Has she slayed the dragon?
Right. What has she done to get the greatest honor that you can give a woman? What has she done?
How old are you?
Yeah, how old are you, man?
No, it's not about kissing me on the first day. Obviously, these things are hard to come across on a telephone call. I understand that. It has nothing to do with that. It's her as a whole individual.
How old are you?
Values.
Oh, okay.
That is.
How old are you?
I already have a son.
903.
Have more kids.
903. How old are you, real quick? How old are you, big guy?
Me?
Yes.
I'm 36.
Okay, 903. Listen to me. Do you understand that women are the greatest magicians out there?
Oh, yes, sir.
They know how to use.
I also understand. Like I said, I'm gonna interrupt you. I apologize. I'm trying to give y'all some good content, so I hope you're giving everybody else good content, and I hope everybody that's listening is getting good content. And I think Donovan mentioned it earlier with Roosh turned to the God pill. I was raised Christian. I did my wild stuff through my 20s. I already do have a child that I take care of. I'm a single dad.
Okay.
When you meet somebody, and it honestly, people, and y'all say this all the time, and y'all agree with me, it's not hard to vet somebody. It really isn't. And I don't care about her sexual past, anything like that. I understand where she is currently, her goals. I understand my goals. But I know it's been almost a year. I think it's been 10 months. I have a plan. We want to have children.
Well,
you can go ahead.
No, 393. Let me.
I'm probably a different individual.
No, 903. You know what? Because I used to watch horror movies in the 80s, and there used to be a thing called Friday 13th, and there was always this sign that says, "Don't go in Camp Crystal Lake because there's a killer in there." And yet, every episode of every movie, they would bypass the warning signs and they will go into Camp Crystal Lake only to have one person survive. You don't see the red flag here. A woman that wants to marry you,
There's
that's
no red flag.
okay. Well, in your world, because your world
I
is
know,
flat
actually,
thinking.
y'all-
I know. I'm just here.
y'all-
No, listen. I'm listening.
I
Wait.
apologize.
I know
for
it's all.
interrupting. That goes back to my being a gentleman.
Okay.
but
Okay.
I'm the one that brought up marriage, not her.
Okay, but what I'm saying is she has won because she got you as soon as she kissed you on day one. She knew everything about you, how to work you, how to manipulate you, and how to use your son and you being a single dad as reason to why you want to marry. You want to know why? How fast did you introduce her to the kid?
She didn't know that.
Okay, all right, but hold on, 903. How fast did you introduce her to your son? How many weeks or days did it take you to introduce you and your son to this lady?
4 to 5 months.
4 to 5 months. And then now she's real motherly to him. Am I correct?
No, actually, I don't include him in our life.
All right, we have another call, but go ahead. All right, George
I have a son.
Okay. All right. Well, we got another call, 903. But did y'all want to say anything, guys? Anything?
No, I'm good. Yeah, listen, good luck, man. I wish you the best.
Yeah, good luck to you, 903. And yeah, you're good to go, man. Area code 410. You're on with George, myself, and Donovan. What's your question, big guy? What's up?
Hey guys. So Donovan, I just found your channel, and I was wondering if you could explain the signs of BPD. I was kind of like, you know, I had a little bit of red pill knowledge, but not anything like you're doing. And I just like this week saw your video on like dread game kind of stuff.
Okay.
Kind of doing that, but not really knowing what I was doing. I just like, so, but I think this chick's got BPD, and I was just wondering if you could explain that a little more. And I'm sure too, and I'm 31.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, I'm not an expert in BPD. You should probably, I would definitely tap Rollo Tomasi. Rollo has a master's degree in he has a master's degree in psychology, and he wrote The Rational Male. He also has a BPD ex-girlfriend. Carl Black Label Logic is also very familiar with BPD. But what I can tell you,
what is BPD?
It's borderline personality disorder.
Oh.
Are you talking about borderline, or are you talking about bipolar disorder? Because there's two BPDs.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, man, the symptoms of borderline personality disorder are very obvious, and unfortunately, most men don't really understand how to sort of recognize them. If she's a cutter, like if she self-mutilates or self-harm, that's a sign of borderline personality disorder. If she changes her look constantly, like let's say in January she has blue hair, in February she chops all her hair off and dyes it blonde. In March she gets a sleeve tattoo. Big time mood swings are also borderline personality disorder. But for me, the biggest sign of borderline personality disorder is when you honestly cannot tell if a woman is lying to you or not. I'm a human lie detector. I'm a very bad judge of male character. And this is, unfortunately, I've had to learn this the hard way. But I see right through women. I see right through females. I can predict with 90% accuracy when they're being completely honest with me, when they're leaving something out, et cetera, et cetera. Listen, ask Devin. She tells me all the time, you read me like a book and it's frustrating. This is just, I don't know. It's a gift. Maybe it's experience. But when a woman can look you in the eye and lie to you, and you honestly cannot figure out if she's lying to you or not, that is definitely a clear sign of borderline personality disorder. BPD girls are always, they're also very self-destructive. They're impulsive, but so is every girl. Again, I wish I could give you a little more of a clinical answer, but that's just based on what I've seen and heard. I don't have any experience with BPD girls.
Is he living with her? Are you living with her, 410?
Say living with her?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Oh, good.
She doesn't have any of those signs. I was just kind of wondering, like, what's the difference of her just being a woman and that. But
Well, give us a few examples.
Any of them signs. But also, her mom has been fucking lying to her dad like her whole life, and she tricked me. I mean, her mom tricked me. Like, I had lied, and I couldn't see it.
Wait, her mother tricked you?
Yeah, but that's experience, though. That doesn't necessarily mean BPD. I'm talking about young women, 19, 20, in their late 20s. Dude, older women in their 40s and 50s, dude, they've been lying since they're 15 years old. They can lie to anybody.
Yeah.
You guys just tell her, as long as she take her medicine, you
Yeah.
should be fine, man.
That's stupid.
No, I'm serious. I mean,
There is no medication for BPD, man.
yeah, but I don't have the top. Well, see, I guess they have tolerance. I can never imagine someone who had. I don't have the tolerance for crazy or disrespect. So I'm throwing that guppy back in the water. Some fish you pull out of the water, and they may have a scale or an eyeball hanging out. You throw it right back into the water and go back fishing.
Did you have any other questions? 410?
If you have time, I can elaborate on.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
If you have time, I can. Okay.
Do it.
So essentially, we've been. I got out of the Marine Corps. I was a combat Marine veteran. Got out, and I was kind of thinking like your video about just lock one down and to train her. So I got like a young chick who is like 5 years younger than me.
How old was she?
And I was. Oh, what'd you say?
How old was she?
I think she was 18. I was like 25.
Okay.
All right.
And now she's like 25. So we were good, and I was like her first like real, boyfriend. Like she.
Hold on. Time out.
You
Wait.
got.
No, Stop right there. Never ever listen. Never ever assume you're a girl's first anything, dude.
Hey,
You're the first guy I've slept with. Bullshit. You're the first real boyfriend I've ever had. Bullshit. I've never felt this way about anyone before. Bullshit. You're the first man who's ever made me squirt. Bullshit. You're the first man who's ever gone backdoor on me. Bullshit. You're the first man I've ever swallowed for. It's all bullshit. Listen, I'm telling you right now, BPD or not, and George, you said this earlier, girls these days are experts in making men think that they are somehow special or unique, right? Guys are sitting around laying in bed smoking a cigarette. Yeah, man, she said, I'm the best ever. Hell yeah, I'm the man. Dude, she said that to 16 dudes in the last 16 weeks, man. Put that out of your head.
Yeah, I was about to play the music for him, man. Let me play. Go ahead. Yeah, finish telling us, dog. Go ahead. Tell us a story, dog. Go ahead.
So then, she essentially wanted to start. No, I asked her to marry me, and she.
No, say it right. You said it right the first time. You said she. Hey, dog, hold on,
She
man.
essentially wanted to start. No, I asked her to marry me, and she.
No, you gotta say it right, sir. Say she wanted to marry me.
I wanted to marry her, and she said no.
Oh,
So why are you with her
I
then?
bought a house and all this crap.
Wait,
Oh, wow.
Straight up one night, man.
All right. Okay.
One night.
Hey, listen, Steve, he's young. He's very, very young. Oh, my God. Let him finish. Oh, this is great. Oh, my God.
That's George.
Yes.
She wanted an open relationship, and I was like, "Well, I ain't caring."
Oh, wait.
Like,
An open one? I thought she was your first. So,
Oh, my God.
sir,
yeah, that's what led me to the red pill.
Okay, there we go.
The red pill I got was just MGTOW, pretty much.
Oh,
So I pretty much thought the red pill was just MGTOW.
wow. Okay. Are you with this woman right now?
Well, no. We're in a, like, essentially, we got back together, and I was and then I slipped back into blue pill shit, and then I caught her like hanging out with other dudes and shit, and I was like, that's bullshit. I don't want anything to do with that. And she respected me when we were in person, and then like the next day she called me and was like, oh, I don't think we're gonna work, whatever, all this crap. So we're right now, whatever.
I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm trying to tell you, man.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. Wow. Listen, check this out, man. Check this out. I'm going to make it feel a little bit better.
God.
Here's the thing. No, this guy's not trolling, dude. Like, dude, it takes a lot of balls to come into the Lions Den and tell us that you got played by a woman. Call her. I can promise you, I've been played and cheated on so many. This is why I can detect liars, right? When women are lying to me, because I have plenty of experience of women lying to me. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad about getting played. And by the way, yeah, that was me in the background playing the Chris Brown track. That was definitely me. But don't feel bad about this, man. Listen, at least this happened to you at 25 rather than 35 or 45. Dude, I got people paying me $225 an hour. I got 55-year-old men, 58-year-old men paying me $225 an hour to tell them where they went wrong. You were 25. And guess what, man? We can all sit and laugh and chuckle about it because it is what it is. You're only 25, right? Dude, charge it to the game, learn your lesson, and move on.
I'm 31.
Either way, you're still young.
Yeah. I got you.
Just remember, these hoes ain't loyal. This is get flagged now because we're playing. I don't know. I'm sure.
Me, but she's trying to get me to crawl back to blue pill and say so, like, you know, she can do whatever she wants, kind of shit. I mean, either way.
Wait, hold on, real quick. Are you telling me? Hold on. Are you telling me? Wait, hold on, caller. Are you telling me that she actually wants you back? Are you still talking to this bitch?
No, I'm not. I'm just wondering if she's trying to reverse the dread game shit. I don't know. Trying to understand.
Yeah, dread game is natural for women to play, right? And the reason I say that,
all right,
because women, the only, and this actually goes back to what George said a little earlier. Dread game requires you to act like you have options and to act like you don't care and act like you could walk away at any time. Even if you know you can't, if you can fake it till you make it, if you can feign that confidence, dude, at least you walk away with your pride and your sanity. But there is no flipping the script on a woman who is she trying dread game? No. Women, dude, once you get with a woman, she's running dread game on you as a natural byproduct of her very lifestyle. Dude, she's young and hot. She can run dread game on you anytime she wants to and have 18 dicks lined up ready to make her acquaintance.
Yeah.
That's something that you're always going to have to remember. The hottest woman, dude, a woman will always, I can promise you, for every woman you have in your phone, let's say you have 10 women in your phone that you can call, that you can get to your place in 3 texts or less. Every one of those 10 women has 25 dudes you can do the same thing with. Women will always have more options than men. That's just how it is.
Yeah. And 410, you need to say this to your girl right here. You should be thinking like this, dog. Listen.
Oh, wow.
You should be nutting them bitches. No, not I don't want you nutting them bitches. No, but 411, we got another call to grab. But 411, if you want to hold, if you,
I appreciate it.
Hey man, keep your head up, man. We got love for you, man. Keep your head up, buddy.
Wow.
All right, area code. Well, area code 631. You're on. What's your question, man? What's up?
Hey, what's up? What's up, bro? This is MGTOW Dictionary. Yeah, I definitely see like how many guys will call in and you know they don't know or they'll be simping, but what I noticed is, and why I had to create the dictionary was because it needed a section with blue pilled songs. Like if you listen to old R&B or even a lot of new music, it teaches men to simp.
Yes.
Like badly. Like even with just some of the old songs, like, you know, Baby Come Back and stuff like that. It's like
Casey and JoJo. Absolutely. Yep.
So
still listen.
like in the midst of waking up, if a guy hears one of those songs,
Hang on, caller, hold on.
Wait, caller, hold on.
That whole album. Listen, he is right on. He is nailing this on the head. That can't be left alone. That I was actually just listening to that in the gym today when I was lifting weights. Is Last Night's Letter, Casey and JoJo. Baby Come Back, Last Night's Letter, Still Waiting. How many times are you gonna let him? I mean, it's all. But here's where old school R&B and actually new school R&B. This is what leads men astray. Women and men, they see these men singing these songs and these women fawning all over them. These women are not fawning all over them because of what they're saying and singing. These women are fawning all over them because of what they are. Listen, KC is as ugly as homemade sin. I promise you that nigga smashed more ass than I'll ever dream of. Dude is ugly as homemade sin. Probably a $160 soaking wet. Looks like one of the Ewoks. But guess what? He's got that status. He can get away with saying, baby, come back, and I'm still waiting for you, but not Donovan. So that's a very good point by the caller.
Thank you, bro.
All right, did you have a question or you just had a comment?
Oh no, I'm gonna contact you guys at a further date because, you know, I create the mobile app MGTOW Dictionary, and I have a section where I think, you know, you guys will have an expert opinion, like especially like I have a part with blue pill songs, and then I have a part with red pill songs, like for instance, Hey Joe, Jimi Hendrix, that's the red pill song. You found the bitch cheating, his man killed her, went down and, you know, when you hear songs, you're like, oh man, that song woke me up that this bitch could be cheating. Or you can go back to sleep with Baby Come Back, or, you know, I Just Want Your Love. You know, just the amount of, I already have about 30 of the blue pill songs, but I know working with other guys, you know, you guys are probably going to come up and say this one and this one and this one. And, you know, it's just going to add to the dictionary. And also movies. I have a movie section. Okay. So, you know, I was waiting for y'all to get a live stream on again, and that's why I called in. But yeah, like I have a promo on my YouTube channel.
All right. Well, thanks, man. We appreciate. All right. Well, thanks, man. We appreciate the call and everything. We'll throw you back in, but thank you for the call. All right. Thank you, man. Okay, we're back. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Yeah, Donovan. Yeah, you got the floor. We back. But yeah, guys, y'all want to call in 515-605-9373 is the number.
Yeah, we'll go for about maybe 10 or 15 minutes more with the call slowing down here. But going back to what he was saying, dude, truer words were never spoken. And what gets lost in the translation is that it's not, and Steve, you say this all the time, it ain't about the message. People make it about the messenger. And they get it wrong when they listen to these songs. Chicago talks about the glory of love. I am the man that will fight for your honor, right? Chicago can say that shit, but Donovan Sharp and Steve can't say that. I'm not the man who's going to fight for your honor. I am not the hero that you've been dreaming of. Like, you got the wrong guy. Like, that ain't me. This ain't fucking Karate Kid. Like, this ain't Ralph Macchio. I'm not trying to fight. You feel me? This is the attitude that men have to have. Stop listening to Drake. Stop listening to old school Jodeci and R&B. Listen to Chris Brown. Listen to NWA. Listen to Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eazy-E. Listen to those guys if you want some red pill. Listen to R. Kelly and his crazy pedophile ass. He's got some red pill truth in his songs as well.
Yeah, a lot of guys. We're at a time where, well, see, unfortunately for a lot of these men, they believe what they see on TV. So. Yeah, if they see somebody cupcaking a woman and everything, and you know she giving him love and touching his face, they may, well, I want to do the same thing, and they'll try to carbon copy or copy that person. And like I say, y'all, a lot of people, like you say, they're so busy looking at the messengers, they never take the time to look at the messages, man.
What are your thoughts on music, George, as it applies to the red pill?
Well. I grew up in the sappiest era in the world. There was no bigger sappy era than the 60s and 70s. And I will tell you, it really trained me to the point where it disabled me. I honestly believe that. I think it's one of those things that if you keep hearing a message over and over and over, you really start to believe it. And when you see people who you respect submitting and caving in and surrendering all the time, you just unconsciously go in that direction. And I think like, for instance, if you remember, I mean, in my day, it was you invite a girl over the house, parents are away, her parents are away. And, like a lot of women would say, well, you can have the stereo tonight. You pick out a song or you go through my tapes. And I remember girls doing that, and you'd go through her albums, whatever. And what kind of music would you pick out? You picked out music that you think she would like, not what you would like.
Right.
So you're picking out like all the slow dance kind of songs. You picked out sexual healing. You picked out the old Earth, Wind, and Fire kind of stuff. And like girl stuff. You would never put on like stuff that you work out to, that kind of thing. And I think that my brother and I have had this talk where it's really hard to go back and listen to our favorite old music. I mean, I'm an original Led Zeppelin fan. I'm an original first generation Led Zeppelin fan. When they were hot, when they were in the quote unquote top 40, that was me. But their music just has a man submitting and crying and wailing and moaning. And I'm just like, oh my God. When I listen to it now, it's very, very difficult to listen to. I mean, I like it musically, but the lyrics are just the path of least resistance.
Yes. Yeah, listen, I think that again, this is what gets lost in translation, is that the guys who sing that stuff, they get pussy literally thrown at them. Dude, it's insta pussy, just add water. But what men have to understand, that we're not Led Zeppelin, right? Listen, I'm not Tommy Lee. I'm not Mick Mars, right? I'm not Nikki Sixx. Like, we're not the Motley fucking Crew. We're average, everyday guys, man. And what men need to understand is that they can't, and oh, by the way, if you think for 1 second that Drake really is what he pretends to be in the studio, you got another thing coming. Dude, Drake is smashing and passing these bitches all day long. Well, Drake is a simp. He cries about his ex. He does that because that sells records. But trust and believe, Drake is smashing and passing, right? So you need to look within yourself. What the red pill really comes down to, guys, is not being afraid to be a man, okay? And when you are not afraid to be a man, then you're not going to be influenced by this bullshit music out here.
Yeah, we have one more call in the queue. Area code 754, sir. What's your question, man? What's up?
What's up, man? Now, I just had a question to pose to you guys. Now, back in the day, you guys had like the Casey and JoJo's in the 90s and whatnot.
Yeah.
And today, like, motherfuckers ain't really singing to bitches like that. Like, you don't really have to. I feel like it's almost a denigration of you don't have to do as much to get pussy anymore. And I feel like the music might be reflecting that a little bit. Like, you don't see as much simping in the music, because we got like listen to rap today. Like, I fuck this shit, I cut this shit, all this stuff. Like,
yeah,
it's not really that time anymore. So I feel like it's just the denigration of the female wall. Like, bitches are just giving it up easier and easier. So that was my question to you guys. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I think the road was paved to where we are today by the gangster rap of the early 90s, man. Right? Like, dude, NWA, Ice-T, dude, the West Side Connection when him and Dre broke up. Then, of course, Dr. Dre dropped the Chronic back in 1993, right? Calvin Broadus, aka Snoop Dogg. That's what paved the way to the red pill music, man. And now, just like, I don't even know what current music. Dude, honestly, the newest track I probably listened to, I couldn't even tell you, man. I couldn't even tell you. Maybe, I don't know, maybe something from Rocky IV back in 1985. I don't know. But I do know that when we do listen to the radio every once in a while, songs really aren't, they're really not, at least not on the R&B side, songs really aren't clipping anymore. Yes, E40. Yeah, E40, definitely E40. Bone Thugs. Yeah, oh yeah, the Chronic. Oh yeah. The Chronic was definitely an instant classic. George, do you listen to current music or do we?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I mean, I was a DJ in Albany, New York. I was the only white DJ. Actually, Steve knows this. I was the only white DJ in a black radio station.
Yeah.
And I had a show from midnight to 6 in the morning called Midnight Soul Patrol.
Oh,
and
George was a bit, man.
It was a fun time. And let me tell you what the hot songs were at that time. It was Quincy Jones, Stevie Wonder, Parliament, Earth, Wind and Fire, Ohio Players, Brothers Johnson, Marvin Gaye, Temptations, the OJs, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And that was a lot of fun music back in that day. That was kind of like my album collection was a very I don't even know what you would call it. Back then, they called it soul music. You don't hear that anymore. You don't hear the phrase soul music, and that's what I spun. I mean, I had 2 platters, a microphone, and an entire wall behind me of albums, and I would literally, and I would actually have an album hour, and that's when I would actually go to the bathroom. So put a side of a record on for 22 minutes, and that way you can get to the bathroom. But I found that there was a tougher, more manly element. It wasn't. I think Marvin Gaye started. Ain't no mountain high enough, and all that kind of. I mean, he just.
It was just
and I just think that it was because it sold records. Do I think he like your comment about Drake?
Yeah.
Do I think he was moaning and crying? Nah,
no.
I don't think so. I think they were lined up at his door, but I think that sold records. And then he woke up from Motown, and all of a sudden, you'll notice when Marvin went from Motown to his new label and started doing Sexual Healing, all of a sudden everything changed, didn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Everything. Look at all of his music prior to Sexual Healing. Sexual Healing came out, I think, in 80 or 81, and that was a big deal. And there is not a woman alive today. Like, that song is about a confident man. I know you want it. The oven is heating up. You have to give it to me, kind of thing. I mean, there's not a woman alive today that song is not on her playlist.
Of course.
And actually, that might be a vetting thing, because if that song is on her playlist, you're in trouble.
Slut Doll number 48. She's got Sexual Healing in her playlist. That ain't her first rodeo. Steve, your thoughts before we bring this thing to a close.
No, he's right. It's times have changed now, but like you say, you talk about all the like the thing I love about George is that he has been through the years and being able to see the change of music and stuff like that, and it's great to when I saw him at the 21 convention, how he was telling me his stories of. Like I say, he put the record on for a while just to go to the bathroom and stuff, but he just had such fascinating stories, and that's this kind of stuff you want to sit back and learn from, man. But like you were saying also, Donovan, we're at a time now where bitches ain't nothing but tricks, you know what I mean? Right. And that's the truth, because if you look at a woman, you could just go to a club and watch them play a song that doesn't call him a whore or a bitch, and they ain't just sitting there, okay. And then when they're like, oh, girl, look, hey, that bitch ain't shit. I'm gonna put my dick on her forehead. And oh, girl, oh, girl, and they'll run right into the middle of the dance floor because they ain't shit. They ain't nowadays. So, I mean, and guys, if y'all ever get a chance, and hopefully, George, you can do a show sometime. You need to take them back, man, and show them how it was back in the day.
Man, I'm telling you, dude, you lived in the golden age of womanizing, man. Like, that's when women really respected. And by the way, like, George has lived a very interesting life. So you were a counselor, a DJ, and now you're a barber. Like, you've lived a colorful and interesting life.
Yeah.
Donovan, and he had a chance to be the most interesting man in the world.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Serious?
yeah, he had the Saki motherfucker. Yeah, he had a shot at that.
The dose.
Yeah. So
George is the guy. He is the most interesting man in the world. You got to put something together.
George is cold as fuck. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Straight up. Yes, absolutely. When he drives through a toll bridge, he gets a check in the mail. He is the most interesting man in the world.
Yeah. Matter of fact, before we let him go, let me see if I can find it for him. Hold
Cue
on.
that up. While Steve is looking for that, guys, be sure to catch us on the Redman group that goes down tomorrow morning at 11 Eastern right here on the Redman group channel. We've got myself, Steve the Dean, DDJ is going to be on the panel, as well as Anthony Johnson. We might have a fit, we might not. It just kind of depends on what's going on there. But be sure to catch us tomorrow on the Redman group. Before we get back to Steve George, listen, man, thanks for taking the time to come on tonight, share your wisdom, share your knowledge, man. It's always good to talk to you, man.
Likewise, man.
Yeah. Hey, George, remember the fireplace, dude. Do that joint. But let me this is an honor for you, George. Let me see if it's right. Here it is. Let me see.
William.
Oh no, that's not it. Wait. Let me see if this is it right here. Let me see if this is it. Hold on, let me see if she's gonna do it. Let me see. Is this it?
White chocolate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Smoother than the other side of the pillow.
Wow.
Yeah.
White chocolate.
White chocolate. That's what we call George. That's his new name. That's what we call him. We got love. I love you. Dog. Yeah.
That's going to do it for this edition of Redline. Get us tomorrow on the Redman group. You guys have a great night. See you later.